Hello and welcome to West Star Tarot. I'm Liz, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my December favorites and a little bit of a holiday haul. Although we don't really do a lot of presenting around this time of year in my family. I did get a few lovely gifts that I thought I would share with you because they are tarot related, mostly. Anyway, so December. So I mentioned, I didn't do a November favorites. I mentioned in October that I am participating in Mindful Tarot, Esther at Mindful Tarot, Drop 'em 78. We're starting on October 15th. We choose a deck to work with until the end of the year. So October 15th through December 31st, there's 78 days. And Esther gives us the order that she wants us to use the cards in. And those of us who participate, not everyone posts on her Facebook page, but many do. And so it's been a really interesting project. I did participate in it last year. And I used the Gaian Tarot last year, and this year I'm using the Next World Tarot. And it's a really interesting experience because you pretty much commit to just using one deck for the 78 days. And until I would say maybe the middle of December, I'm really fine with it. And then all of a sudden, about the middle of December, this happened last year too, I start to feel like, okay, I'm ready to be done with this now. And it isn't the deck that I'm using that I'm tired of or that I don't want to finish the project. It's just that I'm kind of missing my other decks, and there's other things that I want to be working on and exploring. And of course, in the month of December, because of all the winter holidays, we often do get gifts from other folks. And in my case, I gave myself a couple gifts of tarot decks. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to kind of dive in and look at these other decks. So anyway, we are on the home stretch now. Today is December 26th, and it is the Towers Day. So we're on day, I believe this is day 72 of 78. But anyway, I just thought I would quickly go through the majors in the Next World Tarot. I love this deck, and I'm really glad that I chose it for this project. One of the things that I've learned a lot, obviously, studying one deck for 78 days. I've learned a lot about this deck. What I've learned, a few things, as I said, is this deck, as the name implies, is talking about the next world. So the world beyond this current reality that we exist in, the colonial, capitalistic, patriarchal, white supremacist, homophobic, all these things that we are, all these ways in which we're oppressed. And it talks about how the guidebook, well, Christy C. Rhodes, the creator in the guidebook, talks about, and the art is reflective of the fact that as we move into this next world, there's a lot of healing to be done. And so this deck includes a lot of cards that allude to and talk about healing and how we can come together and move into the next world healed and ready to sort of create a different world, a new world, the next world. And I had never just doing a card here, a card there, a spread here. I had never picked up on the how much healing is discussed in this deck. And so I really have learned a lot about that. And I found that very interesting. I continue to love this deck. And as I said, I'm really quite glad that I chose this as my deck for Drop'em 78. So that's that project, or that issue. So I don't really have a lot of decks to talk about because I really did commit to using that one deck. I will talk a little bit about, I pulled for the month of December, as I usually do, a plant, an herb, well, in this case, a tree, white pine. And I purposefully chose white pine. I didn't randomly choose white pine because I want to spend time with white pine. White pine is really pretty much the only thing I can harvest right now in my yard. Here's the white pine that grows in my backyard. It's Eastern white pine, Pinus strobus, and I've talked about this plant a lot on my channel and on my Instagram, and it is an amazing healing plant. And I think about the folks who lived here before colonialism, and what it was like for them in the wintertime when there really wasn't a lot of things growing. And white pine is something that is full of vitamin C and vitamin A. A cup of white pine tea has more vitamin C than an orange. So it's packed with vitamin C. And as I said, vitamin A, full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties and antimicrobial properties. It can be made into a tea. It can also be used as a salve. So I would imagine that where I live on the land of the Mashpee Wampanoag, and I would imagine that when the Wampanoag folks were using white pine medicine back before the days of the colonial invasion, that when they made a salve with white pine, they would probably infuse it into some sort of animal fat, like maybe deer, or I guess deer. And then they would use that as a salve. And again, it's antimicrobial. It's got all these healing properties for skin when you apply it on the externally, and then when you use the tea internally. So white pine is my plant for the month of December, and fox is my animal. And this says shadow work. There are no shadows without light. So I love fox, and I have where I live, we have quite a lot of fox, and I see fox from time to time. I haven't for a while now that I think about it, but it is an animal that is close to my heart. And I think of fox as clever and cunning and wise. So anyway, so that's my December. So in the middle of December, my sister gifted me this tarot, Wee Moon Tarot. And every year at solstice, for probably 25 or more years, my sister has gifted me this Wee Moon planner, which I cherish and love, and I still have most of the ones that she has given me over the years. It's full of women's artwork, visual art, poetry, essays. It tracks the cycles of the moon. There's astrological information. There's information about the wheel of the year and the holy days, and it's just something that I treasure and I cherish. This is for next year's 2023's winter solstice. And anyway, when I saw that there was a Wee Moon Tarot, I about lost it, because talk about two of my favorite things. Wow. So this is a tarot deck that is using the art from the Wee Moon calendars over the years. And the first Wee Moon calendar, it's been 40 years that these women have been making the Wee Moon calendars. They have wall calendars, and I like the planner one that my sister gives me. So they speak of tarot, and in fact, there have been tarot artists and oracle artists who have had their artwork published in the Wee Moon calendar. They have a theme every year, and they had tarot card themes. I think they had the star, the sun, the moon, judgment, and the world. I don't remember if they had any other ones besides that. Here's the guidebook, and you can, for those of you who are familiar with the Star Tarot, you can see this is Kathy McClellan's moon card, which is on the cover of the box as well, and is one of the cards in the deck. And the dedication. So this Wee Moon Tarot is dedicated to Pamela Coleman Smith, the unacknowledged woman artist who created the renowned Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck in 1909, never published under her name. The current publishers have now credited her for the mysticism, ritual, imagination, fantasy, and deep emotions of her 78 paintings. She received only token payment and died penniless and obscured in 1951. She was one of the first to depict every tarot card with images of people, including a few powerful women in the deck, such as a priestess card, and so forth. So this all-women tarot deck is dedicated to her in sisterhood to restore her rightful legacy 113 years later. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about, so the author of this is created by Musawa, founder of Wee Moon. And as I said, 40 years ago, I learned tarot primarily through experience. In my original Fool's Journey, I embarked on a quest to find my spiritual origins with my first tarot deck, not knowing it was Pamela Coleman Smith's deck, tucked in my backpack as my daily guide. What started as a search for the ancient land of Mu in 1977 took me across 2 oceans to Hawaii, where my spirit encounters blew me wide open, then back to my ancestral roots in Europe. 9 years later, I returned to Oregon with Wee Moon in my back pocket. At Kvindelanden in Denmark, I had landed in a group of 50-plus lesbians from different countries, creating a women's land community, living together, communicating in different tongues, and rediscovering our common women's culture inspired the creative outpouring of spirit that birthed Wee Moon in 1981. The first 5 editions were created with women in a different country every year. Wee Moon lives on in all her diversity, reincarnating now as in the Wee Moon Tarot. So this is really exciting to me to have this tarot deck. And I feel like I may be using this more as in an oracle than as a as a tarot. There are quite a few horizontal cards, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you know what? I'm going with the flow. So here we see, this is the Ten of Air, and the key phrase below is prana, breath of life, and the painting is called Sacrament. So they took the, oh, I love the Empress. Look at her. Ugh. So they took the artwork and they matched it up with the different tarot cards, and they used the titles as well and put these key phrases on the bottom. So anyway, as I just mentioned, I really haven't been using this deck because I'm committed to the Next World for my Drop 'em 78. However, on solstice, my sister and I did a ritual, and we drew cards from the Wee Moon Tarot. And so we did an energy to leave behind and an energy to bring with us into the next year. So this is the card I got for the energy to leave behind, the Nine of Fire. And this is called, the piece of artwork is called, I Overcome, Not Without Help. So for me, I guess what I had a very, very challenging 2022, probably the most challenging year of my life, by far. And so I think about the Rider-Waite-Smith, Nine of Fire, which is Nine of Wands, and this is me. You know, I'm down but not out. I'm wounded, but I'm going to heal. And this card reminds me that sometimes when we've been kicked and knocked down over and over repeatedly, we've got to remember that it's okay and in fact necessary to ask for help. And I find that really hard and really challenging. But this year, because of the challenges that I was presented with, I found myself vulnerable and humbled, and in a place where I really did have to ask my friends and family for help from time to time. And it is humbling, and it does make you feel vulnerable. And yet I thought to myself, you know, if my sister or my daughter or my dearest friends or my cousins or someone asked me for help, would I judge them? Would I not want to help them? Of course I would want to help them. And my friends and my family wanted to help me too. So, interesting lesson. But I am hoping to leave this battered and bruised and wounded person behind. What I'm bringing with me into 2023 is the Seven of Earth, sustainability. And so that's what I'm going with. I'm leaving behind woundedness, and I'm going to sustain myself in a new way, in a healed way, in a healthy way, in a strong way. So that's my Wee Moon. And that's all I've used it for, just those two cards. And I can't wait to dive in to explore this deck starting in January. So, all right, moving forward, I wanted to talk about a couple of gifts. So I already talked about the Wee Moon. And my daughter gave me this journal from Chani, the Astrology Astro Planner. And this has... this is all astrology related. And you know, I kind of have wanted to explore astrology, but kind of didn't know where to start. So I will be using this Astro Planner this year to explore my my own chart and you know, the astrological events that are happening throughout the year. I also received a couple of books. This was another gift from my daughter, Tarot for Change by Jessica Dorr. And so this is using the cards for self-care, acceptance, and growth. And I think it is the perfect book for me for 2023, considering what 2022 was all about and how I want to, you know, what I want to move forward with in 2023. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then my sister gave me this Louise Penny book, the most recent Three Pines Mystery. If you are a mystery reader, lover like I am, and you have not read this Louise Penny Three Pines Mystery series, I cannot urge you strongly enough to get the first book called Still Life. Start at the beginning and read them in order. You can go to fantasticfiction.com, type in Louise Penny, and it will give you the books in order. And your local library will have them. And I can't say enough about this series. So I am looking forward to this week reading the latest in the Three Pines Mystery Series. And Amazon has adapted the books, the Three Pines books, into an 8-part made-for-TV series. And I did watch it and I did enjoy it. And I'm hoping that they go forward because 8 episodes wasn't really enough. All right, next up for my holiday haul. This is a gift from a dear tarot friend of mine and just a friend, or not. So we started out as tarot friends and morphed into friends beyond tarot. So this is Between the Worlds, Shadow Casting with Bone and Curio Oracle Cards by Monica Bodersky. And when I first saw this, I thought, well, I don't know. Is this really up my alley? And then I looked at the artwork. And again, I have not used this deck because I'm on this whole not using anything other than the next wheel. But I started looking at the art. I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And the whole premise behind the deck. So I am reading the guidebook. And I think I'm really going to enjoy this deck. It's very different from anything I've ever seen. You know, it's kind of a combination of an oracle and, you know, casting bones or charms or whatever. And I'm really excited about it. Monica has done an amazing job on the guidebook. It's really good. And as I said, I'm looking forward to diving into this in January. So this will be a deck that I am going to explore in January, along with my Wee Moon tarot. Not sure that I'll use them together. Maybe I will, don't know, haven't gotten there yet. But anyway, I'm really excited about this oracle and exploring it. So, gifts to myself. So the first one is the Soul Trees, Soul Seeds Oracle. This is by Allison Williams Yee. And she has a number of Soul Trees decks. And I have, I think, maybe 2 others of her decks. Oh, I just love them. And this one's different. It's not trees. It's like these little puffball kind of dandelion things. I love the artwork. I love the colors. I love the keywords. And this one, I think I might use with the Wee Moon. It looks art-wise like it would go well together. And I'm thinking that these might really combine well. So that's my plan. to use these decks in January. So that is Soul Seeds Oracle by Allison William Yee. She had a sale at around the holidays, 50% off. And so I got a journal, and I got journals for friends and family, and then I got the deck. So the other deck I gifted myself was this one, Fifth Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. And I sat on the fence with this lovely deck when it came out as a Kickstarter. And in the end, I did not back it because I felt like I had other decks that filled this niche. And so I just decided not to back it. And you know, it was one of those decks that I'd see people posting, and I think, I should have backed that. I should have gotten that deck. And then I was thinking about getting it from the creator, and then I heard it was coming out in mass market form. So I decided to wait. Oh my God. I have a thing about moon cards, and for me, this is just about, not even just about, this is perfect. Just how I would love to see the moon card. So I have not used it. I haven't even really looked at I just arrived a few days ago. I haven't even really looked at the guidebook. And I'm looking forward to diving into that when I'm done with Drop 'em 78 as well. And I had one more deck that sadly is sitting across the room. So if you bear with me, I'm going to pop over and grab that. Hold 1 second. I know we're not supposed to have dead air, but yay, that's the way it goes sometimes. I really want to mention this this deck. So this was a gift from a friend who brought it into their, bought it for themselves, for their collection, loved it, said they think it's brilliant, but that whenever they pulled it out, they kept thinking, this deck belongs to Liz. And so we met up over the month of December, and that was actually another one of my December favorites, was having lunch with my friend. And they gifted me their Glowwood Oracle. And again, because of my commitment to only using one deck in December, I have not really look, oh my goodness, look at this artwork. I have not really done anything much with this deck either. I did start to read the guidebook. There's a whole system to this oracle. And, you know, I'm a plant person and a tree person and a nature person. And so I'm really pretty excited about diving into this deck too. But I will have to really read and dive into and study the guidebook because it is a whole thing. Look at it. I'm not even sure how many cards there are, but that's a lot of cards. So anyway, last but not least for my holiday haul, is this great keychain that my daughter gave me. And I can't wait to put my car keys and house key on it. So, I wanted to say thank you to my subscribers. I wish you all the best as we move from one year to the next. I hope that you can leave behind your woundedness and that you can move into 2023 feeling sustained and on your healing journey. I want to thank you for watching. There's a lot of channels out there, and there's a lot of glitz and glamour and, you know, people that are pretty famous making videos. And I'm just little old me with my no editing, no graphics, just me chatting away. And so I really appreciate you all stopping by and interacting with me in the comments. And, you know, I just want to say thank you for your friendship and your viewership. And again, wishing you all the best as we move forward. And may 2023 be a brighter, healthier, more positive year for all of us. Blessed be, my friends.